Hey everyone, welcome to another MLM dumpster fire. Today we are gonna watch Jennifer Anderson, and this video is called What to Do When You Don't Know What to Do. And this was back when Jennifer was in Scentsy. I mean, being in pharmacy now, I doubt that her attitude and her trainings are any different than what they used to be in Scentsy, even though I think she claims that they are. Julie Jo covered Jen many times in the past, just like I did as well. So if you want to watch more videos on Jennifer specifically, go check out Julie's channel, or some of my old videos. But Julie has been covering her after she went to pharmacy as well. This is, like I said, an older video from Scentsy. And as her usual self, Jen holds the title of the meanest MLM hun, in my opinion. In our opinion, a lot of you guys also say that she's definitely the meanest hun out there. So yeah, we're just gonna watch. This is a longer video, so we might be here for a while. Before we get into it, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. That's a nice free way that you can support my channel if you would like to. And as always, big shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for being here. Let's just get right into this.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Anderson, Superstar Director of Radiant Rockstars, and it's Tuesday night, Rockstar Rally Night, my favorite night of the week, where I get to spend it with all of you. And I was just sharing how
My favorite night of the week, where I get to be mean and condescending to you guys. My favorite night of the week.
Don't really have a specific topic for tonight or a specific title, but it's more of a heart story and more of a, hey, here's what's on my heart, here's what I've been going through, because I feel like probably some of you have been to, and in fact, I know some of you have been to because of conversations I've had or text messages I've had with you. And there's a lot going on in the world and in Scentsy. And how many of you feel maybe a little bit tired? Okay. How many of you feel overwhelmed? Okay. How many of you feel anxious at times? Okay. So in case you can't see the screen, and for those of you watching on YouTube, like almost every hand in our room is up or has been up or went up for one or all of those things. You know, and tonight I just kind of want to talk about that a little bit, and what does that feel like, and how do you build and run a business? How do you grow your business even feeling that way or going through those things, or when life isn't normal or perfect, or wrenches are thrown in, or things that you don't expect kind of come your way, you know? So the reality is, like, I don't even really know what normal looks like. And does anyone have a consistent life where everything is the same week after week? Anyone? No. But I think the problem is we plan our business and we hope to build our business around a life that is consistently the same week after week after week. And then when that isn't presented to us, we get disappointed, right? Or when that doesn't happen in our life, we freak out, or we say, I can't do this, or this isn't for me, or I guess this just won't work. Or I guess I can't get that promotion with Scentsy, or I guess I'm just not going to make annual sales, or I guess annual mentor isn't for me, or like incentive is out the window. Like, we just say all these things when we have basically set ourselves up for failure from the very beginning by setting this expectation that our life is never going to.
Honestly though, when it comes to MLMs, it doesn't matter what kind of belief you have or what kind of expectations you set for yourself or your business, the odds are still against you. It's statistically proven that the majority of people across all multi-level marketing companies never make any profit. So it doesn't really matter what you believe or what kind of attitude you have, motivation and whatnot, you still have 99% of chances of never making any profit, and you will not make any profit. Unless you're joining early or you have a big following on social media, you're just not. It's just how it is. So it doesn't really matter. Doesn't make much of a difference, I guess.
Going to have any bumps, and that our business is never going to have any bumps, and that it's just going to be smooth sailing, and I can just do this like this. And when we want that for our business, it's okay to want that. But I want to challenge you to maybe change your desire a little bit and focus in on how you can work and build your business around a life that changes constantly. around a world that changes constantly. So some struggles with this when your life and world change constantly. One of the biggest struggles is consistency. How many of you feel like you struggle with consistency? I hear it time and time again across the board. You were really, really hot one week and the next week, right? And then because you were that week and you were hot the week before, you're comparing this week to the week before. And then so week number 3 totally sucks because you're like, man, I just really suck and I blew it. And you end up in this cycle, right, of self-deprecating talk, and we think bad about ourselves and like, oh, this isn't for me and I can't do this, right? And the reality is we have to be flexible enough to be able to take what life hands us. And we have to be flexible enough to be able to take what our business hands us. And thank God for Scentsy, because any other job or company or anything like that in the world would never be able to ebb and flow with life like this business opportunity does for you. Okay? Thank God for Scentsy. When life gets hard or your kids need a little bit more attention, or you need a little bit more attention, like you need to take care of your body or go to the gym or meal plan, or you need to rest, or you need to take a bath or read a book, right? If you need more attention, or your kids or your house needs more attention, or your spouse needs more attention, right? When any of these things happen and you have a regular 9 to 5 or a regular job, like there's no flex there. There's no flex. But with Scentsy, you can...
Yes, there is. There is flexibility there because you can always take a day off. You can get a sick day. You can get unpaid sick day if you really need it. Depends on the job and the benefits and whatnot. The conditions, I guess, your contract. But how do you get any of that in an MLM? Because yeah, maybe you can leave everything, drop your MLM biz and go do whatever you need to do. But there's a whole different issue with that, is that you're working for free in an MLM. Like, you're not getting paid anyway for the work that you put into the MLM. Some people get paid, but a lot of them don't profit because they spend so much money on products. Okay, you get the time to do whatever you want or need to do, but you're not profiting from doing the business. You're working for free anyway, so may as well drop the MLM stuff and just take a bath, be with your kid, whatever. You know what I mean?
You can kind of move priorities to the side and adjust with the ebb and flow of life. And I want to say that I'm so grateful for that part of this business, because there are times when my life demands a lot of time or a lot of attention or a lot of emotional attention. And if I had to work a regular job, I mean, I'd freaking lose my mind. You know what I mean? And probably some of you who have to work a regular job or who work a regular job can identify with that, because there's no flex. So what I want to tell you is, and this may not be everyone's dream or idea or goal, and that's totally okay. But if you can build your Scentsy business to the point where you don't have to work another 9 to 5, or you get the option to only work Scentsy, or you can choose just to do this, you'll have all the flex that you want in the world. You will have all the wiggle room. You will get to make all the choices, and you won't get to have to feel so stressed or so over.
How are you not gonna feel so stressed? You have all the time in the world to do whatever you want, but you're not getting money. Actually, you're going into debt by being in the MLM. That's what happens to the majority of people who join MLMs, not just Scentsy or Farmasi. The majority of MLMs out there, all proven by data, statistics. My resources are linked in the description box below. You can take a look at it. But like, what do you mean there's no stress? You're literally going into debt trying to work this business. You're not profiting. I don't think having all the time in the world makes up for the fact that you have financial stress.
Overwhelmed or so anxious because of the demands of your job. Now, don't get me wrong that you can be in this business and also feel stressed and anxious and have demands, right? Often They're demands that we put on ourselves. Often, stress, anxiety, and feeling demands are a result of us looking at someone else's journey and thinking that we have to do it the way they did.
Or it's someone working this MLM business, not making any profit and being like, what the hell am I doing wrong? How is Jen so successful? How does she have such a big team and she earns so much money and she's on top of this MLM? What am I doing wrong? Why am I working for free? You know? Maybe it's that. Wild take, I know.
Or thinking that they joined at the same time and they're farther along than me. Or why did they have this? I feel like I'm doing all the right things. Why am I not where they are? So often when we have any of those feelings in our business, it's because we've started looking left or looking right, and we stopped looking down at our own road that we're walking. And I'm guilty of it too. Okay? But this is basically an accountability check. Saying where are you looking left and where are you looking right and where have you stopped looking at your own road?
I mean, in any business, especially if you're working by yourself for yourself, which you're not, you're just an independent contractor in an MLM, but let's say for the business sake, right? Of course, you have to look at your competition, you have to look left and right, and you have to look at your own road. You have to look at everything. You can't just focus on yourself and do your own thing. I mean, yeah, you can, but it's good to be aware of what's happening in other areas and with other people. And if you want to improve your business, you have to look at somebody who's doing it better than you, which again, this does not apply to an MLM. I'm just saying in general, this is a really bad business advice in my opinion. But when it comes to MLMs, yeah, there is no need to look at anyone else because they have different circumstances. They probably joined early or they have a big following on social media, which you don't have. So even looking at your own road, it's pointless. Just leave the MLM is what I'm trying to say.
So I say all that to say this. What is it that you really want in your business? What is it that you really want? If you know what you want, throw it in the chat. I'd love to see. What is it that you really want? What is it that you really want out of your life? What kind of life do you want to lead? What do you want it to look like? Maybe it's not leave your career and do scentsy full time and have that flex. That's cool. I support you. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But what is it that you really want? And then 9 to 5 dropout, kick the time clock to the curb. You guys, I'm not kidding you. Those were some of my biggest motivations in building my business for all these years. Kicking the time clock to the curb, not having to answer to someone else, not having someone sign my check, own my time, own my life, financial freedom. A lot of these were the same reasons that I was building a business. I want to own my own business, quit my full-time job, be a stay-at-home mom, build up a savings account for your baby's future. Huge. Do you guys, I know people that before Scentsy had never even had a savings account. How many of you don't have a savings account or didn't before Scentsy? Scentsy can provide you with that comfort. A savings account is a form of comfort. A savings account is a form of self-care. And Scentsy can be that.
Yeah, how many people in your downline, Jen, are making profit? Any kind of profit in scentsy and farmasi? I'd love to know. Probably not very many. So Jen has been a part of multi-level marketing for like decades at this point, I'm pretty sure. At least 10 years. So she, in my opinion, knows what she's doing. She knows that the majority of people in her downline are not making any profit. She knows the statistics. She has seen income disclosure statements and everything. I think she is just a scammer, in my opinion. What she just said there, build a savings account for your baby, is such an evil thing to say when you're trying to recruit people into a product-based pyramid scheme, in my opinion. You know that they're not going to make any profit. The majority of them won't. You have to know by now, being in this MLM business for so long. And you're still saying such manipulative things to get these people to join, knowing very well that they're gonna be even further away from having a savings account for their babies by joining an MLM. Just so shitty. I hate it.
my motivation was not only kicking the time clock to the curb and being my own boss and really having true freedom and not be.
You're not your own boss. You never were your own boss. Again, scentsy or farmasi, you're an independent contractor. And just because you're on top 1% or less, you don't do anything. You don't make any decisions. You're not treated. I mean, you're treated differently. Maybe you get like trips and whatnot, what other people don't. But you're not your own boss. You're still an independent contractor for the MLM company. So what are you talking about?
Being responsible for to have someone else sign my paycheck, but also, you know, was
someone is signing your paycheck. What do you mean? This is ridiculous, Jen.
having my husband like able to be home. My husband used to work 6 days a week and he'd leave the house at 8 o'clock and he wouldn't get home till 8:30 at the earliest, 6 days a week for 10 years. Okay. We ate dinner every night at 9 p.m. Every night. And some of you are like rolling into bed like that, like we just got to eat dinner together at 9 p.m. And then we, you know what I mean? 10:30, 11 o'clock, wake up, go to sleep, wake up and do the whole thing all over again every week. And that was a big part of my motivation too, was like, first it was take care of my time clock situation, but I want you to also know that you can take care of your time clock, but you can also take care of someone else's if you want to, because that's what I did. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'll continue to do. You know, you have to decide what you want, but then you have to ask yourself, is what I want compelling enough to make me get up and move? Is what I want compelling enough to make me work when it's hard? Is what I want compelling enough to make me work if I don't feel like it, or life isn't normal, or I've been thrown a curveball, or something hurt my feelings? Okay? Is what I want compelling enough? And if it's not compelling enough, if you're struggling with consistency, or you're letting things like hurt feelings, or I don't feel good, or I'm overwhelmed, or I'm stressed, or I'm anxious, which are very real, valid things. I want you to know that, very real, valid things. But you know what helps you get over those things? A very compelling reason to work. And if you're struggling with consistency, I'm going to tell you, it is sometimes it's discipline, but it is almost always a not enough compelling reason to work. Almost always, you don't know your true why. You don't know what you really want.
Please.
So what is it that you really want? And is it compelling enough to make you work? You need to ask those two very serious questions. And then you decide at that point, okay, now what am I going to do to get there? How do I want to get it? What am I willing to give up? And what am I not willing to give up? I'll tell you that
I'll tell you that for an MLM, you shouldn't give up anything, because the MLM is not going to give you anything in return. Not profit, not anything worth giving anything up for it.
Now, you guys know, I just had my daughter, you know, she's almost 2. She'll be 2 in April. So I worked my business for 8 years with no kids. Working your business with kids and without kids is totally different. Okay, it is. Working your business with another job and without a job is totally different. Yes. When I started Scentsy, I was working 2 other jobs and I had no kids. Okay. But I gave up a lot of things for many years in my business to build the kind of business where I didn't have to give up things. Does that make sense? I gave up a lot of things for many years to give myself many more years of time that I didn't have to give up things. So I gave up nights out with friends. I gave up like going to events, or like, you know, like let's say it's the fall and you want to go to the pumpkin patch. I gave up going to the pumpkin patch because I had a booth at the pumpkin patch and I was slinging Scentsy at the pumpkin patch. So I didn't get to put on a flannel shirt and go pick pumpkins and take cute photos for Instagram, but I did sell $2,000 in scentsy and meet new contacts and build my business that day, right? I gave up a lot of things. I gave up sleep. I gave up time. I gave up a lot of things for many years. But by doing that, you build a business.
All right, this is fucked because she's implying like, oh, she gave up sleep, so you should too. She gave up life and social stuff because she wanted to be successful, and you should too. If you give up things that she gave up, that doesn't mean that you're gonna be successful. The majority of people can give all of that up just like she did, and they're still not gonna be successful. Why? Because they don't have a big following on social media and they're not joining a new MLM. They're joining an oversaturated MLM. So you're just gonna give things up and you're still not gonna profit. You're gonna give all those up for nothing. Also, as somebody who had insomnia for the majority of 2025, do not give up your sleep for anything, okay? Appreciate your sleep if you can get proper sleep every night. I was at a point where I would sell my soul for one night of good sleep. Okay, so it's shitty to even say things like that or imply that people should give up sleep. No, sleep is important.
Where you don't have to give up things. You work so hard now so that later you can still work hard, but it's in a totally different way. And you actually have control over your time and your choices and your freedom and what you do and don't get to do. And I can't tell you how.
And listen, I'm not saying that you should never give things up or anything. God knows I gave up a lot of things when I was working my full-time job and I was editing on the side. I was trying to expand my editing business enough so that I can quit my full-time job, like my 9-to-5 job. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I got there in the end. It was about a year of giving a lot of things up. I still occasionally went out with my friends. I never gave up sleep. I always made sure to sleep well. I always did my workouts and everything, but it was a lot of work. I was really exhausted. It did end up affecting my health in the end, near to the end, but I did get to the point where I quit my job. And I don't have any regrets, but I don't have any regrets because I'm actually getting paid for my work. I actually have my own business now. I am a freelancer now and I can do whatever I want. This was my dream job always. Not the video editing part. The video editing part, I just discovered that I like editing videos when I started my YouTube channel. It was accidental, but I always knew I wanted to have freedom and I didn't want to work for someone else. And it's completely fine if you don't have the same aspirations like I did. It's not for everyone. I gave up all of those things for something that gave me profit and gave me benefit in the end, you know? And while I was giving things up as well, I was getting paid for the videos that I was editing, right? For other clients and from my YouTube channel. But in an MLM, you're just giving everything up and you're not getting anything in return. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're gonna give things up, at least give it up for something that's gonna give you something in return. Maybe not immediately, but after a while it will, which doesn't happen in an MLM. 99% of people in MLMs never make any profit, regardless of what they give up, how long they work the business. Just doesn't matter. They're not profiting.
Incredibly compelling that picture of a life was for me. For me, that was incredibly compelling. That life where I didn't have to give something up, or I didn't have to say no, or I could take my daughter out to lunch or to breakfast at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday because I felt like it. Right? I didn't have to ask for that time off. Those of you who've been, I want to speak to two different groups of people. Those of you who've been with Scentsy for a little bit, for a while, okay? Maybe you're a leader, you've been with Scentsy for a year, 2 years, maybe you have a team. I want to ask you a couple questions. If you feel like you've lost your way or you're struggling with consistency, or you just can't seem to get it right, or you just don't know where to pick up and start again because you stopped at some point, I want to ask you, did you stop having fun? Did you
I actually thought she was gonna ask something meaningful, but here we go.
stop having fun? Because I think sometimes when we look left and we look right, and we look at what other people are doing, and we think we have to do what they do, and we implement all these things into our business that really don't build our business or that just make us feel bad about ourselves, there's nothing fun about that. And when you stop having fun, I think you forget that like you sell things that smell good, and that's the most fun job of all. You sell things that smell good. You sell things that smell good. Like maybe you need to write that on your wall. Like I sell things that smell good. So you remember that like this is lighthearted and fun and this is scentsy. Are there things that you can do in scentsy to build an incredible, huge business that pay you for generations to come more money than you could ever imagine? Yes. And I hope you do those things, but you've got to remember to have fun. And so if you feel like you've stopped having fun, I want you to do this. I want you to write down the 3 things that you do in your business that are the most fun for you. Maybe it's making samples. Maybe it's sending cards. Maybe it's editing a video. I don't know. It's different for every person. I don't care if it's income producing or not. Okay. You guys know I'm all about income producing activities. And that's the only thing I think you should do in your business. But I want you to write down the top 3 things that you think are fun in your business. And I want you to do those this week. And then I want to make sure that you do at least one of those fun things every single week. I don't care what it is. Is it watching a training? Is it organizing something? Is it putting things into a binder? Is it labeling things? I don't care what it is. Making wax samples. I mean, I don't care. It can be whatever is fun for you. You can be scentsy crafts. You can make a wreath out of empty clamshells. I don't care. Like whatever is fun for you, do that. Because guys, like life is too short to not enjoy this.
Life is too short to be a part of a scam, product-based pyramid scheme where you are working for free. In my opinion, it's a scam. Facts and data show that people actually do work for free in MLMs.
Okay. And this business is way too fun to not be having a good time. Don't lose sight of what's fun.
Oh, it's so fun cold messaging people and being on this call for 20 something minutes where you yell and talk so condescendingly. Can I say that condescendingly? Doesn't sound right, does it? Anyway, you suck, Jen.
Leaders, those of you with a team, did you lose sight of what you really do, which is connect with people and empower them? It's not be someone's boss. It's not tell someone what to do. It's not expect results. It's not run reports. It's not coach, and if they don't listen, you get butt hurt. It's not any of those things. Leaders, your job is to connect and empower. Connect with people, get to know them, find out what's going on in their life, empower them to build a business in the way that they want to. Did you forget that that's what you do as a leader? Teamies, if you are a consultant and you don't have a team, are you expecting too much from your leader? Are you demanding too much from your upline? That can be a huge source of losing your way, of getting frustrated in your business. If you're new to scentsy, as in, let's say 6 months or less, don't forget to have fun forever and ever and ever and ever in your business. Always do things that are fun. Whatever you think is most fun. And I can't even tell you, okay? You have to decide what's most fun for you, because honestly, what's most fun for you is probably not what's most fun for me. That's because I am an Enneagram. Does anyone like the Enneagram personality types? Okay, I'm like obsessed. I really like it. I'm an 8 wing 9, which means having fun is really hard for me. I'm not a fun by nature kind of person. Okay, so having fun is like really stretching myself. So things that are fun for me
Must be a pretty sad life then if you don't know how to have fun. What?
are probably not fun for you. You can find fun in probably things that I'd be like, I'll just sit in the corner and sip iced coffee instead, right? But maybe it's crafts. Maybe it's writing thank you notes. Maybe it's making a video. Maybe it's training yourself, reading a book, styling a warmer and taking a picture for Instagram. Maybe it's just smelling your testers. If smelling your testers is so fun for you, do that once a week. I'm not kidding you. Do it once a week. You guys, when we used to have home parties, okay? When we used to have home parties, I used to sit on the floor and smell testers with the guests for 10 years, no matter how long. You know how many times I smelled black raspberry vanilla and clean breeze and vanilla bean buttercream and Luna? But I did it every single party, and every single party it reminded me that, hey, I sell something that smells good. Hey, I really do like this job. And that for me was fun. That for me was enjoyable. And that for me was sort of grounding in a way. Do something that's fun in your business for you every single week. Newbies, get accountable. Find someone to hold you accountable. Accountable to being consistent, accountable to ditching excuses, and accountable to having fun. Newbies, build a team to take with you. Build a team to take with you. Building a team is not as scary as you think if you don't have a team. It's not as scary as you think. It's a lot more fun than you think. And it's just about taking people with you and having a good time together.
No, it's about recruiting these people into your team because you earn more money based off of those people's hard work. It's not really about fun, is it, Jen? You know that.
It's not more complicated than that. And guys, I feel like in our business, when we get overwhelmed, frustrated, anxious, it's because we've forgotten that we sell things that smell good. We've lost sight of simplicity. We've started looking left and looking right. We
forgot that we are in a product-based pyramid scheme where we buy and sell overpriced smells. Whatever. I think I'm done. There's like 2 minutes left, but I cannot listen to her anymore. I don't know why I thought she was actually gonna give like some good advice. But that's all she's got. Just remember to have fun, and all of a sudden you're gonna be successful, and you're like, no. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap that one up here. Let me know your thoughts below. Is Jen still the meanest MLM hun out there? Quite possibly, I think, yeah. Although I'm not sure between her, Kayla from Modere, well, she's not in Modere anymore, but I don't know where she went. I have to check. I think I'm making a video on Kayla this week. Or Millie from Academy. I Am Academy. I have not covered her in a while. She has kind of disappeared, or I'm blocked everywhere, so I can't see their videos. I don't know, but I've not made a video on Millie in a very long time. So yeah, 3 potential meanest MLM huns. But anyway, you can let me know down below which one of them is the meanest in your opinion. And yeah, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. That's a nice free way that you can support my channel if you would like to. And as always, big shout out to my channel members. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.